All right, ladies and gents, welcome back to another video. Guys, I want to say a big shout out to CM Prism, CM Jackie, and the whole Sharp live stream squad. They ended abruptly. The whole stream lagged. I want to say don't dual stream on Twitch. There won't be a problem. CM Prism, I'll hit you up on that. Everybody say hi to everyone. Hi, YT World. Leo's here, guys. But with that being said, we got some in-game balance adjustments to talk about. So let's go ahead and jump into this. But before I do that jumping in part, I also want to remind folks, don't forget that we also have this little fun content creator program going on. So if you haven't done so already, go and support your boy, hit that content creator support button, get yourselves in, get some free codes. It's almost ending this season. Next season is going to be starting, so you'll have to extend to get additional codes. But right now, one code active, one more on the way. So don't forget to do that, guys. It's free, it's easy. It's linked in every single description of every single video. Hey guys. Hi, everybody. Hi. All right, so let's go into this, guys. We got a lot of balance adjustments. One noticeable one that I think everyone's going to like, and we finally got them to listen to us, is our boy, Christopher Reed. So right now, you guys can see his Tier 1, Tier 3, and Tier 5 all got updates. So right now, you can see here the new effect added, transforms foul play to hard tackle. When hard tackle hit, inflicts one instance of wildfire. So it looks like they want you to use the football move now. I said not to use it, but it looks like they want you to use it. So when Spirit Body Manifestation is active, it grants an effect that increases fire team members' basic damage by 15% for 30 seconds. It's pretty good. Deals damage equal to 100% of defense every 3 seconds. It is 10 stacks of a dot, essentially, right? So big there. New effect added when hard tackle hits and now applies 2 instances of wildfire Tier 3. So now you get 2 stacks instead of 1. So you actually still want to pull this off. Again, though, I just want to say this real quick. Christopher Reed is not really there for DPS. You're really there to get infusion up as fast as you can. So this kind of seems counterproductive. But hey, it is what it is. Hey, Cap, what's going on? Okay, and then you guys can see Tier 5 using 0 to 100 resets the cooldown of Nitro Kick and Hard Tackle. When Hard Tackle hits, it applies 5 instances of Wildfire. So all you need to do is 2 football tackles, and you'll get yourselves 30 seconds of dots instead of doing this many, okay? So strategy for victory, exclusive weapon now is using 0 to 100 increases user's defense penetration by 15% for 60 seconds, not 20 seconds. And you guys can see here, one of the biggest problems Christopher Reed had, which was elemental accumulation volume, has now been put on everything, and it has been amplified. That's right. So now you will be doing a lot more amplification for overload. So Christopher Reed now is pretty much caught up to everything else. I think Payne is an AI. You wish I was an AI. I wish I was an AI. I'd be sleeping by now, bro. Okay, the wildfire effect. I think you got the content creators messed up. I think the other guy might be the AI, not me. Okay, here we go. Love you, Zaffy. So YooSooHyun here got a lot of big buffs, guys. So tier basic attacks, all of her damage got increased here. Core gauge increased as well too. You guys can see they doubled her damage, almost doubled her damage on her core attack, which is pretty crazy. We have trick shot, basic skill 1, also doubling damage, a little over double in this one. And again, power gauge increase as well too, or core gauge gain increase. Kill shot also got a decently sized buff, so you should see pretty decent damage output now from the model. And I think they did this, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I think they did these buffs for her to sell that naked costume of hers. I'm being real. I think that's why. I think people are gonna want to use that costume with YooSooHyun now, so making, yeah, for the skin, 100%. Thank you, somebody said it. I had to say it, bro. It literally is. It's for the costume. Anyways, Pulse Fire here. There's a damage multiplier here. You guys can see has been increased. Also more damage. Fire Swarm now does a little bit more damage. And then, of course, her ultimate does more damage. And you guys can see the Spotlight here. The user's damage increase stat now will be equal to 100% of their defense pen. So now, getting her full defense pen is going to make her damage increase as well too, which is actually huge for Spotlight. And then over here, Magic Firearm went for from 160% to 500% of her attack. So now she's probably going to be doing quite a bit of damage, and then increased fire damage taken by 1.5. Hey, I just want to point this out. How funny would it be if she out damages Liu? Remember when she beat out Thomas for a little while? Do you guys remember that back in the day when YooSooHyun was stronger than Thomas, the national level hunter? What if she beats out Liu in damage? We're going to find out. Damage increasing, cooldown decrease. You guys can see a couple more tier 1 things, tier 3 things here. That would actually be crazy, right? Prism's back? Okay, he's back. You guys want to go back and watch this? I can't. I got to finish this video now. Sorry. You guys can go watch there if you need to. So Kanae got a couple different buffs as well too. Damage got increased from 70 to 100%. Not very big. User crit damage from 16 to 20%. User's attack increased from 102 to 120%. And then you guys can see crit rate went up. Honestly, pretty mediocre buffs, but she's been buffed so much already that it doesn't make any more sense. Just saying. Just saying. All right, Gina got a lot of buffs. Increased attack by 20%. Increased fire damage by 20% instead of 15 and 15. And then duration is 20 seconds. Tier 2, you guys can see now when a shield is granted to a team member, they do damage dealt by 20% instead of 10%. And then here you guys can see the target now takes increased damage by 10% as well. And not only fire damage, but also overall damage. And then here, tier 4, all team members' attack and defense pen is increased by 4%. Increased attack and defense pen for fire members by 8%. So they are making her pretty damn viable again. And she's always kind of been viable as it is. And the new effects here, you guys can see support skill. If the entire team, including Sun Jin-woo, is comprised of fire team members, it activates an effect that increases Sun Jin-woo's attack by 20%. So making her even more viable as a support now. So that's pretty damn crazy. And then over here, you guys can see user's attack increases by 24%. And then when mana circulation activates, it increases all team members' attack and fire damage by 1%, not stacking 10 times, but 20 times. Pretty damn crazy. All right, in the SL here, they gave her, using this skill, increases Sun Jin-woo's fire damage skills by 20% for 25 seconds. Just a support skill. CM Prison's back, that's fine. We'll go back in a bit. For Mary Lane, for Sion Halat, they essentially got more accumulation for their elemental gauge for overload. And then over here for tier 1 for Sion Halat, he increased the dark accumulation by 10%. Again, more accumulation, and then across the board. And then they did have some sort of a balance here for Sun Jin-woo's weapons. They're trying to make the Huntsman more viable, which is interesting. Increasing damage from 100% to 300% with the core attacks. Increasing the target's light damage taken by 25% for 5 seconds. And then you guys have a couple other things here. When Judgment Time hits, it inflicts the Judgment Overture on the target. Now it stacks 3 times instead of the 99 times that was always fake, right? And then a couple other things to note. Myro has a new effect here. Plus her ultimate does a little bit more, doesn't require it anymore to be triggered. And then they did give Thomas a little bit of a buff. They reduced the cooldown of Absolute Demolition and Colossal Crush by 50%. And then lastly, this is interesting. They gave all of the artifacts, the new artifacts, 30% damage increase in team fights, stacking up to 2 times. I'm not even sure why that says it. I think that means if you have both 8 effects. So all 8 effects can now stack up to 2 times, and they give a little bit of team bonus. DPS ones give 30%, support ones give 15%, overload ones give 15%, etc. Right? So just so you're aware. And then this is an interesting one. So I'm curious to see how the stats are going to be distributed. 1 Vitality now gives defense and HP. Defense by 200%, HP by 900%. Agility gives critical damage by 900% compared to before. So I'm curious to see if this is going to become a more viable, if we're going to see a strength agility build. So we're going to have to do a lot of testing to make sure that actually works. So that's a pretty big deal, guys. And I'm curious to see how this actually works out for the game itself. It might be a big deal. It might be. All right, so we'll see what happens. And then, of course, we have Death Dance here, room skill balance, a couple balances here to a couple skills, Vertical Arts, Phantom Strike, Dagger Rush, Vital Strike, etc. All right, so there you guys go. Essentially, everybody here got a little bit of a buff, and we're all good to go. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. I think that covers everything. Is everybody still here? Are we all good? Everybody still around? That covers it? All right, perfect. So if you guys have any, obviously, comments, leave it in the comment sections. Thank you so much for watching the video. We'll see you guys in the update. Take care.